Hello YouTube, it's Noah, and today I'm going to be doing an unboxing and review of the Logitech G920 driving force wheel and pedals combo. Alright, so basically what this is a force feedback racing wheel, and it does come with pedals as well, and it is made by the company Logitech. If you're not familiar with this type of product, it is basically a steering wheel and pedals, and you use it for computer games or, in this case, Xbox games, because the G920 is compatible with PC as well as Xbox One. If you're looking for a PS4 compatible wheel, you can look to the G29, which is Logitech made also, and that wheel is specified for PS4 and PC and has slightly different features, but today I'm going to be focusing on the G920. So inside the box, and if you might be wondering, it is, I got it pre-owned, but it's manufacturer refurbished. So I was okay with that because I got it at $250, which is a really good price considering the list price from Logitech is $400, I believe. So inside the box we got two cables here, the power supply and the cord that plugs into the power supply. Most of you know how power supplies work. Basically, one cord plugs into your outlet, the other plugs into the power supply, and then the power supply then runs a cable to the G920 wheel base. And the reason it requires power is because, like I mentioned earlier, it is a force feedback wheel, meaning that inside games, the wheel will pull back on you depending on how you move within the game. And it's a really nice feature, and it feels really premium. It does not feel at all like a toy. It feels like a real car when you're driving this thing. So something Logitech doesn't include with this that would have been nice to see is a shifter, like if you're going to use a manual car within the game. But you can buy the shifter separately from Logitech. For some reason, they do that now. The previous model, the G27, which was older, that one did come with the shifter included. This one does not. So if you are looking for the shifter, you can pick up Logitech's. But me personally, I can live without it for now. I'm just going to use the paddles to shift sequentially. But if you ever do want it, you can just buy Logitech's version. But personally, I do want to buy the Thrustmaster shifter version instead, which is made by Thrustmaster, not Logitech, and it has a separate USB input. So on the back of the wheel here, which I just took out, you can see it has lots of cable management, routing divots, if you want to call them that. And you can see down here it has lots of mounting options. It has a bunch of different screws where you can mount it down to a desk, or if you wanted to mount it to a setup you have. And you can see here, it's kind of hard to see because the lighting's funky, but you can see the imprint of a shifter, and that's where it would plug in there, where I'm pointing at now. And then you can see over here the imprint of the pedals, which is, like I said before, it's kind of hard to see, but that's where you plug in the pedals. And here's a little diagram if you want to pause the video to see what plugs in where. And then it has this like little thing that stands up on the bottom where you can wrap the cables around so that you don't have a bunch of extra slack if you do have a bunch of extra slack. And like I said before, the divots are really helpful because the cables would just get squished by the wheel if there wasn't any routing solution under there. So it feels really well designed and practical. So right here I'm going to show you how the extending mechanism works to mount it to your desk. I will not be mounting it to a rig in this video, and likely not any video for a while, because I'm not really interested in putting it on a rig or mounting it with screws or anything. So for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to be showing you how to mount it with the included clamps. So basically they're these clamps, and what you're going to do to unlock the clamps is you're going to push them down and turn them to the left, and that will unlock them so they can move up, and then you can turn them freely, and then you can turn them left to loosen the clamps or right to tighten the clamps. Now there's one thing I'd like to mention. I'm using the Malm desk, if you didn't know. I had a previous video on it if you want to go check that out. But the Malm desk, if you didn't know, is pretty thick. It's almost 2 inches thick, and I was kind of worried because I didn't know if the G920 wheel would fit around my desk. And what really scared me initially is it didn't. So I was totally freaking scared because the wheel wasn't mounting to my desk, and it didn't look like it would be able to because I was literally about an inch off. It would not fit the clamps around the desk. So then I started to panic a little bit. But something I did not realize, which I will show in a few seconds, is there is something on the clamps you can remove to accommodate bigger desks. Right now I'm showing you the buttons. It's got a 8-way D-pad, so basically you can go up, down, left, right, up, right, down, right, left, up, left, and down, left. And then it's got the ABXY Xbox buttons, right bumper, left bumper, the guide button, and whatever other button that is. I don't have an Xbox One, so I wouldn't know, sorry. And then an Xbox button, of course, because it's licensed by Microsoft. And then on the back, it's got two paddles, which are like made of steel or aluminum. I'm not exactly sure. It's likely steel, and they feel quality as well. The wheels are wrapped in a really nice leather, which feels really nice. But that's about it for the buttons on the wheel. Now the pedals right here, which I'm showing off basically how stiff the brake is, and this is a common problem that people have had. The brake on the pedals are really stiff, and it's strange because the accelerator feels like how a normal car accelerator would feel. It goes down smoothly, comes up smoothly, doesn't have any problems. The clutch, I don't have any manual car, and I don't drive stick, so I would not know how a clutch feels, but it feels similar to the shifter, maybe slightly more, just a tad bit harder to depress, but nothing too difficult. But the brake, it depresses like normal for the first 25% of its deceleration, but once you get past that 25%, it becomes really stiff, and you really have to jam your foot down on it to get it to engage. So if you just be warned about that. There's tutorials on how to remove something in there to get the brake to normalize and feel like a regular brake, but I do not know how to do that, and I'm not showing it off for the purpose of this video. Before I showed you down there, it has like these little spikes that come up on the bottom. That's basically if you want to use this wheel on carpet. If you do want to use it on hardwood or any other flat surface, it does have grippy feet, so it doesn't slide around. And I don't find it sliding around too much on my carpet, but I do realize sometimes when I engage the clutch, it will kind of shift towards the clutch a little bit, which is kind of annoying. But right now I'm showing you the wheel again, and basically this is the part that I removed. And I'm pretty sure it was intended by Logitech to remove. I don't think I broke it. I'm pretty sure. But it's basically like a spacer. And the spacer is basically, if you have a smaller desk, like a really thin desk, the spacer would allow the wheel to accommodate to that desk. But if you're like me and you have a really thick desk like the Malm, then the spacer would be able to be removed so it can accommodate your thick desk. One thing I'd like to mention, though, it is very close to not fitting. Like, I'd say probably a few centimeters, probably less than that actually. But it's very close to not fitting my desk. So if you have anything thicker than the Malm desk, which I'm not sure if there is any desks thicker than the Malm desk, just be warned because it might not fit. And if you can't get it to fit even with the spacers removed, then there's likely no solution for you other than to maybe remove the clamps and mount it to your desk with screws, which would kind of be a hassle. So like I said, not sure if there's any desk that's bigger than the Malm, so you might not have anything to be worried about. Right now I'm showing you I'm mounting the pedal cable into the wheel, and I just plugged them in and wrapped them around there and fed them out through the cable rails or raceways or whatever you want to call them. And so now it's all cable managed, and you can see me tightening it down to the desk. And then, like I said before, to release it, you push down and turn to the left, but to engage the lock on the clamps, you push down and turn to the right. Pretty self-explanatory. There's one thing I'd like to mention really quick is I did have problems with this wheel out of the box. It was software related and not hardware related, so the wheel didn't have any problems. But just be warned, there might be some driver confusion, and there's a tool you can download, which I will link in the description, which basically fixed my problem. To not go into detail, basically it wasn't recognizing my wheel, and I had to erase all the drivers that I had on my computer for the wheel. And once I did that, it just started working. I don't know exactly why, but it just did. So if your wheel's having any funky issues with drivers, I'd recommend downloading that tool from the description if you have any problems. Plugs in via USB 3 or 2.0, whatever you have really. And the force feedback is incredible. I'm telling you, it feels hyper realistic. You can tune it however you want in the Logitech software, and you can change all the buttons yourself. But it feels very close to driving a real car. If you can get a good game like Project Cars or Assetto Corsa, basically you can feel like you're driving a real car, which is incredible. And I'd say overall it's a very decent purchase, and I'd recommend it to anybody interested in racing games. That's about it for this video, guys. If you liked it, leave a like. Leave a comment down in the comment section if you have any questions, and subscribe to my channel if you like what you see and if you want to see more videos like this one.